So imagine this: the Late Show with David Hamilton, with Paul Schiffer, David Hamilton, and then um, Larry Bud Himmelman, and um, Chris Billiot or something. So just imagine this. What I want TV to be is normally when you watch TV, right? You watch TV and it's a box and it has a broadcast on it. It's either a script or either it's scripted or it's like sometimes there's something they call reality TV, but oftentimes it's scripted and maybe some of it's improvised, but they go off on a generally speaking that on television what you have is like there's a script or there's news broadcasts, there's television shows, there's reruns of television shows. For example, there's like all these old television shows that they show the reruns of, and it's just really something that's just in the can. And what I want to do is reverse the whole creative process. What I want to do is I want television to be something that, okay, let's say it's the Late Show with David Hamilton and Paul Schiffer, you know, on CBC. Um, Instead of them like writing a script and performing it for us and doing like a top 10 list every night, and you know David Hamilton dressing up in a suit of Alka-Seltzer tablets and jumping to a big vat of water to watch all the fizz cover his body. What I want to do, just have all those people like David Hamilton and Paul Schiffer and all those people. They'll just sit in the studio of the Fred Sullivan Theater, and they'll just watch a broadcast that I'm going to perform for them. Now, somewhere in the future, I'll give them like some kind of rough estimate of like what kind of salary I'm asking for, but they'll just sit in the studio and be entertained by my show, which will be broadcast from my home, transmitted in a transmission from my home to the CBC studios in New York. David Hamilton and Paul Schiffer will be the Late Show. And if you want to watch the show, you have to show up at the Fred Sullivan Theater and be a part of the audience, the viewing audience. But nobody does anything there. They just view the show. It's going to be my show. And, I wanted to start out with the first show I wanted to do. Maybe I shouldn't give any spoilers away, but what I really wanted to do was, okay, take like some of these like iconic films like In the Golden Pond, like that movie, and have it. mm, all the characters in the movie In the Golden Pond are going to be, the performances are going to be given by blow up dolls. Now, you're probably asking yourself, how is that possible? I'll tell you. Well, it's going to be people miming. So, do you know any people who know how to mime? I mean, you've seen, okay, many of you have probably seen shows, maybe in Vegas and places like that, where there's like a dummy and a mime, and you know, a ventriloquist. Wait, what did I say? Mime? I meant ventriloquist. Um, get a ventriloquist to make it seem like the blow up dolls are talking, and they're giving a live performance, kind of like a it's kind of like adapting a movie into a play. Usually, it's the other way around. You take a play and you adapt it for the silver screen. In this case, it would be taking a film in Golden Pond, in the Golden Pond, and you adapt it for television. When I say adapt it for television, what I mean to say is that you adapt it for the Late Show with David Hamilton and Paul Schiffer. Um, and in this case, well, that's what I would like to do from my home and have that performance be transmitted to the Fred Sullivan Theater in New York. Think that's a good idea? Anybody? Think that's a good idea? I think it's a great idea. I think it's a brilliant idea. Um, so, like I was saying, does anybody know any ventriloquists that can, first of all, does anybody know any ventriloquists? Second of all, does anybody know any ventriloquists who have not only the ability to, you know, function as a ventriloquist, but is it in their skill level to take blow up dolls and assemble them into a cast who will perform the like a kind of like a TV version of In the Golden Pond on the CBC network on the Late Show with David Hamilton and Paul Schiffer at the Fred Sullivan Theater. Is there anybody that would, first of all, be able to do that? Second of all, have any interest in doing that? Because that would be like a broadcast that would be performed in my home, and then it would be transmitted to the Fred Sullivan Theater in New York. And then a copy of it can be made and delivered to um, um, how about Clint Westwood in Hollywood? Give Clint Westwood a copy of it and see if he would if he would like to develop it into a movie. And once it is developed into a movie, if he would like to go with me to NASA and ask NASA if they would be willing to fly him and I to Mars and have the movie have a a screening of it on Mars and like a big like a drive-in type of movie theater on Mars, and we can have a contest where if you can guess the weight of if you can guess um, um, if you can get whose weight, if you can guess somebody's weight, then you get to. I got to think of the weight of a person that we were all going to try to guess who. How about if you can guess the weight of um, Hoopy Goldbergo, then you'll win a trip. You could be like in a Mars rover. And instead, like in a drive-in theater, you would have like cars all parked in front of the, um, like a movie screen outside, like at a drive-in theater. In this case, it would be a bunch of people in Mars rovers, and the movie would be a blow-up doll version performed by blow-up dolls. When I say performed by blow-up dolls, what I really mean is like I would like to have some ventriloquists kind of take these blow-up dolls and act out the scenes from In the Golden Pond. It would be on the like a drive-in type theater on Mars, and instead of like cars, you would have like those Mars rovers, and in order to win the trip to Mars, you gotta guess the weight of Hoopy Goldbergo. I think that sounds like fun. I just gotta get some. I don't know. I think that. Is there any more directions I could take this idea in? What other types of um, pathways? What other types of like permutations and types of uh, plot twists and so I've got all these like beautiful dreams. I got to make them come true. Okay. Okay, that was good enough for this live stream. I'm going to think of another idea and improvise another comedy sketch. This is Mike Meyer, live from Park Ridge, Illinois. The title of my live stream on YouTube is California Beach Titty Fuck. And the only reason I gave it that title is to try to get people's attention, which I have, so it worked. Anyways, I'll see you in a few minutes. I'll think of another premise, another idea, and I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. Over and out.